If you're over 60, this one morning habit could be the difference between walking confidently into your 80s or struggling to get out of bed. No expensive equipment, no painful exercises, just 5 unusual breakfast foods that most seniors have never tried. But science shows they can literally rebuild the strength in your legs from the inside out. As a brain doctor, I've seen too many older adults lose their independence not because of their mind, but because their legs gave out first. And it's not always about exercise or genetics. Sometimes it's about breaking free from the same tired breakfast routine you've had for decades and discovering foods that your aging muscles are desperately craving. Today I want to share 5 breakfast foods that might sound strange, unfamiliar, or even intimidating, but they hold the secret to transforming weak, unsteady legs into strong, reliable pillars of independence. These aren't your typical cereal and toast recommendations. These are powerful, scientifically backed foods that most seniors avoid simply because they've never heard of them or don't know how to prepare them. If you've ever worried about falling, struggled to get up from a chair, or felt your legs getting weaker while eating the same breakfast every day, this could change everything. Before we begin, I'd love to know, are you willing to try something completely different if it could save your independence? Type 1 in the comments if you're ready for a change. Type 0 if you prefer sticking to what you know. And if staying strong and mobile matters to you or someone you love, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Elderly Wellness Tips for science-backed tips made especially for older adults. Now, let's start with the most surprising one of all, a breakfast food that sounds like health food nonsense, but is actually used by Olympic athletes to build explosive leg power. What I'm about to tell you about quinoa might shock you. The ancient powerhouse, quinoa. Quinoa. You've probably seen it in the health food aisle and walked right past it, thinking it's just another trendy grain for young people. But here's what most seniors don't know. Quinoa isn't actually a grain at all. It's a seed, and it contains more muscle-building protein than any true grain, plus all 9 essential amino acids your aging legs need to rebuild themselves. Let me tell you about Mr. William Hayes, a 74-year-old retired firefighter from Colorado. William had been eating the same breakfast for 30 years, coffee and a bowl of cornflakes. But his legs were getting weaker. He struggled to climb the stairs to his bedroom, and getting up from his recliner required him to rock back and forth to build momentum. His wife suggested he try something different, but William was skeptical when I mentioned quinoa. "Doc, that sounds like bird food," he said. But here's what William didn't understand. Quinoa was called the mother of all grains by the ancient Incas, who used it to fuel their warriors through mountain battles. 1 cup of cooked quinoa contains 8 grams of complete protein, more than most breakfast cereals, plus iron, magnesium and lysine, an amino acid that's crucial for muscle repair and often missing from senior diets. When William started eating quinoa porridge 3 mornings a week, something remarkable happened. He cooked it like oatmeal, with milk and a touch of honey, sometimes adding berries or nuts. Within 6 weeks, he noticed his legs felt more solid. He could climb his stairs without gripping the handrail. Getting up from chairs became effortless. His energy lasted throughout the day instead of fading by afternoon. Here's the science behind quinoa's muscle-building power. Unlike wheat or rice, quinoa contains all the essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle tissue. It's also rich in iron, which carries oxygen to your muscles, and magnesium, which helps your muscles contract and relax properly. For seniors, this means better muscle function and faster recovery from daily activities. But here's what makes quinoa especially valuable for aging legs. It has a low glycemic index, which means it provides steady energy without the blood sugar spikes that can interfere with muscle protein synthesis. Plus, it's naturally gluten-free, making it easier to digest than many traditional grains. The perfect preparation for seniors: cook half a cup of quinoa with 1 cup of milk instead of water. This doubles the protein content and adds calcium for bone health. Add a tablespoon of honey or maple syrup for natural sweetness, and top with fresh fruit or nuts. Are you willing to try quinoa? Type Q in the comments if you're ready to give this ancient superfood a chance. Now, if quinoa surprised you, wait until you hear about the next food. It's something that grows in your backyard, but most seniors have never thought to eat for breakfast. This green powerhouse could be the secret to reversing muscle loss. The backyard miracle. Spinach. Spinach for breakfast. I know it sounds strange, but hear me out. Most seniors think spinach is only for salads or dinner, but this leafy green contains compounds that can literally reverse age-related muscle loss. The secret is in something called nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that improves blood flow to your muscles and makes them work more efficiently. Let me share the story of Mrs. Rose Martinez, an 80-year-old retired seamstress from New Mexico. Rose had been eating the same breakfast for decades, toast with jam and coffee, but she was losing muscle mass rapidly. Her doctor called it sarcopenia, the age-related muscle wasting that affects nearly half of all seniors. Rose's legs were getting so weak that she was considering moving to assisted living. That's when Rose started adding spinach to her breakfast routine. Not in a salad, but blended into smoothies, mixed into scrambled eggs or wilted into breakfast wraps. At first, she was skeptical. Spinach in the morning? That's not normal, she said. But within 2 months, something incredible happened. Her legs felt stronger, she could stand for longer periods while cooking. Her balance improved, and she started taking walks around her neighborhood again. Here's what Rose didn't know she was doing. Spinach is one of the richest sources of nitrates in the vegetable kingdom. When you eat spinach, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, which dilates your blood vessels and improves blood flow to your muscles. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients reach your leg muscles, helping them work more efficiently and recover faster. But spinach does something else that's crucial for seniors. It's packed with folate, a B vitamin that's essential for muscle function and often deficient in older adults. It also contains iron, which prevents the fatigue that makes your legs feel heavy and weak. Plus, it's rich in vitamin K, which is crucial for bone health and muscle function. The research is impressive. Studies show that people who eat nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach have significantly stronger leg muscles and better exercise performance, even in their 70s and 80s. The nitrates in spinach can improve muscle efficiency by up to 15%, which means your legs can do more work with less effort. Here's the key for maximum benefit. Fresh spinach is best, but frozen works too and is often more affordable. The nitrates are most potent when spinach is eaten raw or lightly cooked. Try adding a handful to your morning smoothie. You won't even taste it. Or wilt it into scrambled eggs. Mix it into breakfast wraps, or blend it into green smoothies with fruit. The perfect serving for seniors, about 2 cups of fresh spinach or 1 cup of cooked spinach, which provides a powerful dose of nitrates without being overwhelming. Have you ever tried spinach for breakfast? Type S in the comments if you're willing to give this green powerhouse a try. Now, if spinach can improve your muscle efficiency, the next food on our list does something even more remarkable. It's a breakfast addition that most seniors have never heard of, but it's been used by traditional cultures for centuries to build strength and endurance, the forgotten superfood. Hemp hearts, also called hemp seeds, might sound like something from a health food store that you'd never understand, but they're actually one of the most complete protein sources on the planet. Many seniors avoid them because they associate hemp with marijuana, but hemp hearts contain no THC and are completely legal. What they do contain is a protein profile that's almost identical to human muscle tissue. Let me tell you about Mr. George Patterson, a 77-year-old retired teacher from Vermont. George had been struggling with muscle loss for years. His morning routine consisted of coffee and a muffin, but his legs were getting weaker. He had trouble carrying groceries, and his doctor mentioned his protein intake was insufficient for his age. When I suggested hemp hearts, George looked at me like I was crazy. "Hemp, isn't that illegal?" he asked. I explained that hemp hearts are completely different from marijuana. they're just the inner part of hemp seeds, packed with protein and healthy fats. George was skeptical, but he agreed to try them. He started sprinkling 3 tablespoons on his morning oatmeal and yogurt. Within 8 weeks, something amazing happened. His legs felt more stable, he could carry his groceries without struggling, his energy levels improved, and he even started hiking again. Here's what George discovered. Hemp hearts contain all 20 amino acids, including the 9 essential ones your body can't make on its own. They're 30% protein by weight, which is higher than most nuts and seeds. But what makes them special is their amino acid profile. It's almost identical to human muscle tissue, which means your body can use the protein more efficiently. Hemp hearts also contain the perfect ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids, which reduces inflammation throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is one of the main causes of muscle loss in seniors, so reducing it can help preserve and rebuild muscle mass. They're also rich in magnesium, iron, and zinc, all crucial for muscle function and recovery. The research shows that hemp protein is absorbed and utilized by the body more efficiently than most other plant proteins. For seniors, this means you get more muscle-building benefit from each gram of protein. Plus, hemp hearts are easy to digest, unlike some other protein sources that can cause digestive issues in older adults. Here's the key for maximum benefit. Hemp hearts have a mild, nutty flavor that most people find pleasant. They can be sprinkled on almost anything: yogurt, oatmeal, smoothies, or even eaten by the spoonful. They don't need to be cooked or processed. Just open the bag and eat them. Store them in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. The perfect serving for seniors: 3 tablespoons per day, which provides about 10 grams of complete protein plus healthy fats and minerals. That's enough to make a real difference in your muscle health without being overwhelming. Are you curious about hemp hearts? Type H in the comments if you're ready to try this forgotten superfood. Now, if hemp hearts can provide perfect protein, the next food on our list does something your aging muscles desperately need, but most seniors never think about. It's a breakfast drink that's been used by traditional cultures to build strength, but it's not what you think. The strength elixir. Bone broth for breakfast. I know it sounds unusual, but this ancient food is making a comeback for good reason. Most seniors think bone broth is only for when you're sick, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools for rebuilding aging muscles and joints. The secret is in the collagen, glycine, and minerals that are extracted from bones during the long cooking process. Let me share the story of Mrs. Betty Chen, an 83-year-old retired nurse from Washington. Betty had been dealing with joint pain and muscle weakness for years. Her morning routine was coffee and toast, but her legs felt stiff and weak, especially first thing in the morning. Her physical therapist mentioned that she might benefit from more collagen in her diet, but Betty didn't want to take supplements. That's when Betty started drinking a cup of warm bone broth every morning instead of her second cup of coffee. At first it felt strange. Soup for breakfast, she wondered. But she seasoned it with a little salt and pepper, sometimes added herbs or a squeeze of lemon. Within 6 weeks, something remarkable happened. Her morning stiffness decreased. Her legs felt more flexible. She could move more easily throughout the day, and her joint pain was significantly reduced. Here's what Betty didn't know she was doing. Bone broth is rich in collagen, the protein that makes up about 25% of your body's total protein. As we age, our collagen production naturally decreases, leading to weaker muscles, stiffer joints, and increased risk of injury. The collagen in bone broth provides the building blocks your body needs to repair and maintain muscle tissue. But bone broth does something else that's crucial for seniors. It contains glycine, an amino acid that improves sleep quality and reduces inflammation. Better sleep means better muscle recovery, and less inflammation means your muscles can function more efficiently. It's also rich in minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, which are essential for bone health and muscle function. The research shows that consuming collagen can improve muscle mass and strength in older adults. Studies have found that people who drink bone broth regularly have better joint mobility, reduced pain, and improved muscle function. The amino acids in bone broth also support the production of creatine, a compound that provides energy to your muscles. Here's the key for maximum benefit. Look for high-quality bone broth made from grass-fed animals, or make your own by simmering bones for 12 to 24 hours. The longer cooking time extracts more nutrients. You can drink it plain, season it with herbs and spices, or use it as a base for soups. Some people add a splash of apple cider vinegar, which helps extract more minerals from the bones. The perfect serving for seniors? 1 cup of bone broth in the morning provides about 6 to 10 grams of protein plus collagen and minerals. It's hydrating, warming, and satisfying. Are you willing to try bone broth for breakfast? Type B in the comments if you're ready to give this ancient strength elixir a chance. Now we've covered 4 unusual breakfast foods that can transform your leg strength, but the 5th one might be the most surprising of all. It's something that most seniors think is too exotic or complicated, but it's actually one of the simplest and most powerful foods you can eat. The exotic powerhouse. Chia seeds. Chia seeds might look like tiny black specks that belong in a craft project, but these ancient seeds are actually one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Most seniors have never tried them because they seem too trendy or complicated, but chia seeds have been used by warriors and athletes for over 1,000 years to build strength and endurance. Let me tell you about Mr. Frank Rodriguez, a 79-year-old retired mechanic from Arizona. Frank had been eating the same breakfast for 40 years, coffee and a donut from the local bakery. But his legs were getting weaker, and his doctor warned him about diabetes and muscle loss. When I mentioned chia seeds, Frank laughed. "Those tiny things, what are they going to do for me?" What Frank didn't know was that chia seeds are 18% protein by weight, and they contain all 9 essential amino acids. They're also loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, and fiber, which stabilizes blood sugar. When Frank started adding 2 tablespoons of chia seeds to a glass of water every morning, letting them gel for 10 minutes before drinking, something incredible happened. Within 4 weeks, Frank noticed his legs felt more stable. His energy levels improved dramatically. He could work in his garage for longer periods without fatigue. His blood sugar stabilized, and he lost 10 pounds without trying. His doctor was amazed at the improvement in his overall health markers. Here's the science behind chia seeds' muscle-building power. When chia seeds absorb water, they form a gel-like substance that slows down digestion and provides steady energy for hours. This stable energy supply is crucial for muscle function and recovery. The omega-3 fatty acids in chia seeds also reduce inflammation throughout your body, which is one of the main causes of muscle loss in seniors. But chia seeds do something else that's remarkable. They're one of the richest sources of alpha-linolenic acid, a type of omega-3 that's been shown to improve muscle protein synthesis in older adults. They also contain calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, all essential for bone health and muscle function. The research is impressive. Studies show that people who eat chia seeds regularly have better muscle endurance, improved hydration, and more stable blood sugar levels. For seniors, this means sustained energy throughout the day and better muscle function. The high fiber content also supports digestive health, which is crucial for nutrient absorption as we age. Here's the key for maximum benefit. Chia seeds need to be soaked in liquid to be properly digested. You can make chia pudding by mixing 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of milk and letting it sit overnight. Or create chia water by mixing 2 tablespoons of seeds with a large glass of water and letting it gel for 10 minutes. They can also be added to smoothies, oatmeal, or yogurt. The perfect serving for seniors. 2 to 3 tablespoons per day, which provides about 4 grams of protein, 5 grams of fiber, and a substantial dose of omega-3 fatty acids. That's enough to make a real difference in your muscle health and energy levels. Are you ready to try chia seeds? Type C in the comments if you're willing to give these tiny powerhouses a chance. Putting it all together. Your unconventional breakfast plan. Now that we've covered 5 unusual breakfast foods that can rebuild your leg strength, you might be wondering how to incorporate them into your daily routine. The good news is, you don't need to eat all 5 every day. The key is experimenting, finding what you enjoy, and gradually building these powerful foods into your morning routine. Let me share how Mrs. Eleanor Davis, a 76-year-old retired librarian from Ohio, transformed her breakfast routine and her life. When I first met Eleanor, she was eating the same breakfast she'd had for 20 years, coffee and toast with jam. Her legs were getting weaker, she was falling more often, and she was losing her independence. She was skeptical about trying weird foods, but she was desperate for a solution. We started slowly. Week 1, she tried quinoa porridge twice. Week 2, she added spinach to her scrambled eggs. Week 3, she started sprinkling hemp hearts on her oatmeal. Week 4, she began drinking bone broth instead of her second cup of coffee. Week 5, she made chia pudding for the first time. Each week, she added one new food while keeping the others she enjoyed. Within 3 months, Eleanor's transformation was remarkable. Her legs felt stronger and more stable. She could climb stairs without gripping the handrail. Her energy levels improved dramatically. She stopped falling and started taking walks around her neighborhood again. Most importantly, she felt excited about breakfast for the first time in years. Here's why this approach works so well. Each of these foods provides unique nutrients that work together to support leg strength and overall health. The complete protein from quinoa and hemp hearts gives your muscles the building blocks they need. The nitrates from spinach improve blood flow and muscle efficiency. The collagen from bone broth supports muscle and joint health. The omega-3s from chia seeds reduce inflammation and provide sustained energy. But remember, change doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start with one food that sounds most appealing to you. Try it for a week. If you like it, keep it and add another. If you don't, try a different preparation method or move on to the next food. The goal is to find a combination that you enjoy and that fits your lifestyle. Always talk to your doctor before making major changes to your diet, especially if you have health conditions or take medications. Some of these foods can interact with certain medications or may not be appropriate for specific health conditions. Your wake-up call. Break free from breakfast boredom. At this stage in life, doing the same thing every day and expecting different results is not just futile, it's dangerous. Your legs are your foundation for independence, mobility, and quality of life. If your current breakfast routine isn't supporting your strength and vitality, it's time to make a change. The truth is, most seniors are eating the same breakfast they've had for decades, while their bodies are crying out for different nutrients. Your 60-year-old body doesn't need the same foods as your 30-year-old body. It needs more protein, more anti-inflammatory compounds, more minerals, and more variety. These 5 foods, quinoa, spinach, hemp hearts, bone broth, and chia seeds, might seem strange or unfamiliar, but they're actually returning to the wisdom of traditional cultures that understood how to eat for strength and longevity. They're not fads or trends, they're time-tested foods that modern science has validated. You don't need to eat all 5 every day, and you don't need to give up everything you enjoy. But adding even 1 or 2 of these foods to your breakfast routine could make the difference between maintaining your independence and losing it. The choice is yours, but the time to act is now. If any part of this video spoke to you, tell me in the comments. Which of these 5 foods are you most excited to try? If you found this helpful, give it a like to help others discover these powerful breakfast options. And please subscribe to Elderly Wellness Tips so we can continue exploring new ways to stay strong, healthy, and independent. Remember, your legs have carried you through decades of life. Now it's time to give them the fuel they need to carry you through the decades ahead. Break free from breakfast boredom and discover what your body has been craving all along.